So here we go. Ta-da. And I'll video, or I'll slow that down so you can see it. Back with another video. This time we're back in the donor truck. This is a 02 Chevy Tahoe 4-wheel drive, pulling the motor to put into the Nissan. But my big focus is on this shifter right here, because I want to take it out. I'm going to take this shifter and manipulate it so that my truck down there way at the end I can use the flip out DVD player that I'm got for it. So here we go. So basically you have two of these star head screws that are up underneath the column itself. There's one that's bolted in right here and one up right here. Those are fairly easy to take out. Then the column falls loose, or at least the cover falls loose. And then over here you have the tilt lock, or the tilt little tilt handle thing. And this is unbelievably simple. You just grab it, pull it right straight out, and there you go. We now have access to the lower part, where we're gonna have to take out a screw right, I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. That screw right there. We'll let the rest of this thing come off. That's an internal star screw, and I think it's an 8. Now that little internal star screw, let me give you a trick. I lost the screw, but if you don't have the E-star for it, which a lot of people don't, get down in here, you can use a 4mm regular socket wrench, and it will grab it just enough to get it to come out. Yeah, I dropped it somewhere down there in the dirt, and I don't care because I'm not putting this truck back together. So, but there's a little helpful tip. Now tilt the column all the way forward, and you should be able to take the top plastic off. This is always fun because it's so tight. Hang on for 1 second. Basically what you have to do is push really hard towards the back until this thing finally pops out from behind the steering wheel. And ta-da! That's the top part. Show you something. This right here is pretty typical. Somebody has either taken this shifter out before, or just over time this connection is broken. This orange wire is your tow haul button. If your GM tow haul feature goes out or stops working, 99 to 1 this wire has frayed to the point where it has snapped. This sucks because my tow haul works on my truck, so I'm gonna have to end up shimmying this whole wire out of here and resoldering it and putting it all back together and rerouting it so it doesn't do that again. But I figured that's another little tip. Last but definitely not least, tilt the column all the way down. I'm trying to get in here and get a good view of it. You put the shifter all the way down, into the low gear. And see that little nut right there? You gotta undo that nut. I don't even know what size this is. It's a size something. Oh, they write this shit so damn small. I don't know, it's a star drive. A T30 star drive. And you stick it on there and undo that bad boy. Now I'm gonna show you something. This will be another little learning experience here. Alright, so I'm gonna show you something. So this shifter was on tight and didn't have any problems. On a lot of these GMs, especially with this shifter, you'll put it in park and it'll have all this slop in it, right? It'll move all over the place and be sloppy as hell, right? And the number one reason for that, right? So you go to shift it and it's just up and down slop everywhere. The number one reason for that is that nut that I just showed you right here to take out to remove it has backed off. It's loose. See how that nut's flexing around in there? You tighten that nut back up, it'll get it, boom, nice and solid. And you won't have all that, you won't have all this sloppy crap in. Now normally, once you take the nut out, you would have to go underneath here and disconnect this orange wire from way down there at the bottom. This wire is broken, so we're just going to take the shifter out, which is super simple. Just pull it straight out. Ta-da! One shifter, no waiting. And this rubber piece you could pull off of it or whatever, doesn't really matter. But that's how you remove that shifter. Like I said, if the tow haul wire wasn't broken, we would have to go down there and unplug it and route it back through all of this stuff up underneath here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this wire and unroute it, and I'll show you how to do it. And then I'm going to do a little short, like how to fix it, because this is going in my daily driver truck and I want my tow haul feature. So more to come. Now, to get to the tow haul button without all the major glare, you have this panel right here that's protecting everything up underneath there. There's 2 bolts over here and 2 bolts over here. To make our lives easy, we're going to take this panel out of the way, which is going to give us access to this wire loom right here and the connector that's holding that tow haul together. So that's out of the way. That little guy's just a Velcro thing. Throw that out of the way. You're looking for this connector right here. It's black. It's got 2 white wires going to it. Just got a little thumb clip sitting on it. If you trace it back up, there's the yellow wire. That's as easy as it gets. You can literally unplug this, clip 2 zip ties, and remove the rest of the shifter assembly. Like I said, this one's broken, so we're going to take it out and fix it. So there you go. The shifter is removed. We have both pieces of the wire so we can repair it. Now we're going to start working on modifying this so that it can be used with a 7-inch flip out. Alright, so basically the reason I'm doing this is there is no decent video on YouTube about how to rectify the problem of having a flip out DVD player in a full-size GM truck. So I am being the guinea pig and basically making it work. The idea I came up with is basically to clamp the shifter in a vise, use a a lever or a extension and bend the shifter approximately 3/4 of an inch up. That will make it clear most any 7-inch end dash, and it still has a factory appearance and everything functions, and I don't have to cut, grind, or modify otherwise to make anything work. So basically, I put it in a vise, put a towel around it to keep it from getting marred all up. I found a big open box wrench and hooked it onto the shifter and used that as leverage to make my bend. I will say it's not for the faint of heart. You have to really give it some gusto to make the shifter bend. Do it in short increments, but don't get too crazy, because the shifter is a hollow tube, and if you push too hard too fast, it will collapse, and you'll end up having to go to the junkyard to get a new shifter and start all over again. Well, after some manipulation, I have successfully tweaked this far enough that I believe that I will not have any more problems. I'll show you how I did it in a minute. I don't have any way to hold the camera, so my camera stand is broke. But this is the stock one. If you look, this is my problem. If you look real close, you can see that when that thing comes out, it's gonna hit, no matter what. So the second one, we put it in here, and we put it right on top of the factory one. We can see now that one's up and over, just hopefully enough to where we won't have to do this again. Now I have to repair this little brake, and then we can reinstall it, and hopefully we'll be all good. I got a couple little dig marks, but nothing too major. I didn't even realize it, but this one has the tow haul still on it, whereas mine does not. So, pretty cool. So now it's time to repair the tow haul feature. I went ahead and stripped back the wires and got it ready to solder together. Something like this, you want to do it the right way and solder it and heat shrink it. I'm using silver solder. I'm going to go ahead and tin the wires all up and then solder it together. I'll probably run this at double speed just to, kind of save some time. Alright, so here's another little trick. Go ahead and before you install the shifter back, plug the tow haul back in and go ahead and make sure that the tow haul works. So every time you press this button, that light should come on and off. And now that we have established that the tow haul works, we can put the shifter in. And now, if you look right here, we should have plenty of room for this DVD player to come up without touching my shifter. Look at there. Isn't that wonderful? Thing of beauty.